All right, welcome everybody to the GSP Collaborative Group 7 presentation on our work for the last 2 semesters working with the High Atlas Foundation. Our team members are Magda, Caroline, Juhi, Samir, Sam, myself, Alberto, Catherine, and Maddie, and our facilitators were Sean and Anna. All right, so we're going to do a quick introduction on the High Atlas Foundation itself, the wonderful people we've been working with for the last couple months. So the High Atlas Foundation is a US 501c3 nonprofit organization that is based in Morocco. It was founded in 2000 by former Peace Corps volunteers, and their mission was to help further the vision of sustainable development in Morocco. The High Atlas Foundation supports Moroccan communities through human development initiatives. The key parts that they focus on are organic agriculture, women's empowerment, youth development, education, and health. The High Atlas Foundation has consulted with the United Nations Economic and Social Council. So what exactly are the issues that they're focusing on? So the High Atlas Foundation is focusing on kind of shifting the agriculture economy in Morocco towards a more sustainable model where they're focusing on growing fruit trees and wild medicinal plants that create more income, more sustainable income for Moroccan farmers who are currently farming unsustainable crops such as grain and barley. They're also focusing on irrigation, carbon sequestration, and kind of creating better technical skills for the farmers. But the High Atlas Foundation also focuses on community aspects besides just the farming, which includes school infrastructure, clean drinking water, focusing on women's self-empowerment, self-discovery, and corporate development, as well as creating like participatory planning, project organization, and environmental management across the country.
So now we're going to be talking about what RCG has been working on for the past 2 semesters with High Atlas. So primarily we had 5 key areas in which we were able to contribute, which included fundraising efforts with High Atlas Foundation's first ever Venmo campaign, a social media sort of post series and general marketing efforts for the organization, as well as broadening and creating a network of company contacts and formatting that into a database, and outreach efforts to different University of Michigan-based entities, including Planet Blue, LSA Student Government's Trees Committee, and the President's Commission on Carbon Neutrality. And lastly, but not least, we also had an informative article written on multiculturalism, High Atlas Foundation, and Morocco. So just to touch on really briefly, High Atlas Foundation focuses mostly on carbon sequestration and offsets. So we have this helpful little diagram right here just to kind of explain the concept and illustrate it a bit better, but I will read out the text of what is on the image as well. So it says how carbon sequestration and offset credits work. Trees remove CO2 from the atmosphere through photosynthesis. Landowners earn credits for carbon stored on their property, which is basically referred to as carbon credits. And then corporations purchase credits from landowners to offset their emissions. And then we just put up some numbers, which are from the High Atlas Foundation's website, which includes the fact that they have 12 nurseries currently and 1 million trees.
So I will be talking about the research and the informative article that was done in regards to the High Atlas Foundation. So Our main goal with the article was basically to write a piece that highlights the multiculturalism and sustainable development that occurs in Morocco in terms of all the different faith and ethnic groups that live in the country and how they benefit from the sustainable development initiatives that are promoted by the High Atlas Foundation. We also interviewed High Atlas Foundation President Youssef Ben Mir, and he gave us this wonderful quote that reads, "Morocco is no exception in terms of multiculturalism. According to the UNEP's Climate Change Performance 2018, Morocco ranked second globally and earned the title Africa's Leader in Climate Action. This isn't a result of spontaneity or luck, but rather that of intentional and concerted efforts of diverse coalition of private and government organizations and nonprofits in Morocco. What drives these different entities to work together? Multiculturalism gives resources to bear," says Youssef Ben Mir, the president of High Atlas Foundation and a nonprofit GEO in Morocco.
Okay, another part of our project focused on creating a fundraising campaign through social media. And so here you can see some of the templates that we have for the Instagram stories for our takeover of the High Atlas Foundation's Instagram account. And this includes Venmo bingo boards, which is essentially a different way to kind of keep people interacting with the High Atlas Foundation and our fundraising event in overall. And the goal is to obviously raise money for High Atlas Foundation for them to continue with their goals, and then also to hopefully bring more traffic to High Atlas Foundation and raise more awareness for their causes.
I will now be talking about how we've been supporting outreach by the High Atlas Foundation. So, in regards to outreach, the first thing we did was general outreach to the University of Michigan itself. This entailed basically contacting stakeholders at the university so that we could facilitate a potential partnership with the High Atlas Foundation. So we basically found people and university administrators who might be interested in the things that High Atlas Foundation is doing and compiled a list of them and basically emailed them and tried to meet them and talk to them about things of common interest. So we met a representative from the Office of Sustainability, and we were able to achieve the following. We discussed ideas about spreading the importance of High Atlas's work on campus with regards to sustainability and trying to facilitate better sustainable practices on campus. And secondly, we were able to get information about the High Atlas Foundation forwarded to the President's Commission on Carbon Neutrality. The second part of outreach was basically building a database of companies which the High Atlas Foundation could use in the future. So essentially, this database consisted of companies which had investments in Morocco and who might be interested in partnering with High Atlas Foundation for offsetting carbon by planting trees in Morocco. So we compiled a database in Excel, and it contained information such as a social media contact, a company name, and some other information based on High Atlas Foundation's needs.
And lastly, just kind of going into the culmination of all of our projects, we were able to plan a tree planting ceremony in further our next steps with High Atlas Foundation to work towards their mission. So the tree planting ceremony in question, we've planned it officially for Earth Day 2021, which is on April 22nd. This event will include a keynote address from High Atlas Foundation President Youssef Ben Mir, a poetry reading from climate change activist, and a transcontinental tree planting extravaganza. Kind of going more in depth in terms of the tree planting piece, we wanted to make sure that we were working at the cross-section of the High Atlas Foundation mission, which, we've talked about all the amazing projects that they work on, but it also, it relies heavily on the tree planting. And we wanted to culminate the year of all of the amazing projects that we worked on through a ceremony like this, not only celebrating our efforts, but really playing back to the High Atlas Foundation mission. So we will be planting a tree here in Ann Arbor, as well as a tree in Morocco, approximately 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Ann Arbor, 3 p.m. in Morocco, and it'll be a really wonderful treat.
lastly, we would like to share what we learned throughout this internship experience. So there are lots of lessons we learned, but we'd like to just highlight 3 of them. And first is that our small action can bring a big change towards a climate change. So when we talk about making a big impact, we always think about big behaviors or events, but actually donating 1 or 2 trees can actually help these Moroccan farmers to plant a new tree in Morocco and also help their economy. And the second lesson is that multiculturalism and diversity can play a huge role in sustainable development. So according to the president, Yosef, more people you could bring in using multiculturalism, more impact you can make as a whole. He's talking about sustainable development and also climate change. I think this concept also applies to our CGs because we are from different backgrounds and we have different academic interests. I think it played a huge role in carrying out various aspects of this internship. Lastly, communication and teamwork are crucial in envisioning and maximizing our productivity as a group, especially if everything's on a Zoom setting. So thank you so much for listening to our presentation. We'd like to also thank GSP community and High Atlas Foundation for supporting us throughout this internship experience. And do you have any questions for us? Thank you.